Disclaimer: this video is for informational purposes only and does not replace professional medical advice. Always consult your doctor for any doubts or health concerns regarding your kidney health or diet. Hello, and welcome back to Health Pills. Today, we are embarking on a deep journey into the microscopic world of your own biology to uncover a silent epidemic. We are going to explore the hidden language of your filtration system. Most people think of kidney damage as a distant concept. You might believe it comes only from old age, bad luck, or perhaps a lifetime of heavy drinking. Every day, they filter 180 liters of blood, balance fluids, and regulate blood pressure. They also control red blood cell production and keep your bones strong. But they have a fatal flaw. They do not have pain receptors inside their filtration tissues. Damage builds slowly. By the time you feel symptoms like fatigue, nausea, or swelling, you may have already lost 90% of your kidney function. This is why kidney disease is known as the silent killer. But what is killing them? Modern science reveals that your kidneys are being silently attacked every day by compounds hidden in foods you would never expect. These foods do not just pass through you. They clog, inflame, and chemically burn your kidneys from the inside out. Today, on Health Pills, we are going to talk about the top 10 foods that destroy your kidneys. We are not just making a list, we are going to explain the deep biological mechanisms behind each one. We will look at the how and why so you understand exactly what is happening beneath your skin. We will start with the absolute worst offender, the number one enemy of kidney health, and work our way down to the most surprising daily habits. Let's dive right in. 1. Sugar and fructose. We begin at the very top. The number one worst food for your kidneys is sugar, and specifically, its most dangerous component, fructose. You find it everywhere. In sodas, fruit juices, candy, sweet coffee drinks, cakes, and even healthy agave syrup. Most people think sugar is bad only because it causes diabetes, and diabetes eventually hurts the kidneys. While that is true, the reality is far more terrifying. Sugar attacks the kidneys directly, even if you are not diabetic. Most cells run on glucose, a universal fuel. But fructose is different, only the liver can process it, placing a heavy burden on your metabolic system. When you consume a high amount of fructose, like in a soda or high fructose corn syrup, it goes straight to the liver. To process this fructose, your liver cells must use a massive amount of energy. This energy comes in the form of a molecule called ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. ATP is the currency of life, it is what keeps your heart beating and your brain thinking. The metabolism of fructose is so demanding that it rapidly depletes your ATP reserves. When ATP is used up, it breaks down into a waste product called AMP, which is further broken down into uric acid. This is the critical connection most people miss. We usually associate uric acid with meat or alcohol. But biological studies show that fructose is one of the fastest ways to spike uric acid levels in the blood. Uric acid is not a liquid. At a microscopic level, it forms sharp, abrasive crystals. These crystals must be filtered by the kidneys. As they pass through the delicate tubules, they cause oxidative stress and inflammation. This process reduces nitric oxide, a gas that relaxes blood vessels. Without it, kidney vessels constrict, raising local blood pressure and starving the tissue of oxygen. Drinking sugary soda triggers a chemical cascade. It depletes energy, creates abrasive crystals, and constricts blood flow, creating a recipe for scarring and permanent damage. 2. Industrial seed oils. At number 2, we have a product that is likely in your kitchen right now. Industrial seed oils. This includes soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, cottonseed oil, and sunflower oil. These are often marketed as heart-healthy vegetable oils, but they are industrial products, not natural foods. The problem lies in how they are made and what happens to them when you eat them. To extract oil from seeds, manufacturers use harsh solvents like hexane, high heat, and pressure. This damages the fragile fats before they even reach the bottle. By the time you cook with them or eat processed foods containing them, these oils have oxidized. Oxidation is essentially rusting. When you ingest oxidized lipids, you are introducing free radicals into your system. But the specific danger to the kidneys comes from compounds called aldehydes. Aldehydes are toxic byproducts of heated seed oils. They are directly cytotoxic, meaning toxic to cells, and genotoxic, meaning toxic to DNA. Research shows that these aldehydes target the kidney's filtration barrier. Your kidneys contain millions of microscopic filters called glomeruli. Inside these glomeruli are specialized cells called podocytes. These cells act like guards, ensuring that proteins stay in the blood while toxins are filtered out. Aldehydes damage these podocytes. They cause the filtration membrane to degrade. These oils are high in omega-6, promoting inflammation. Since kidneys are vascular, chronic consumption causes low-grade inflammation that scars tubules and hardens arteries. 3. NSAIDs, painkillers. At number 3, we have something that isn't technically food, but it is consumed like candy by millions of people daily. NSAIDs, or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Think ibuprofen, naproxen, and similar over-the-counter painkillers. We had to include this on the list because the damage they cause is mechanical and severe. You might take them for a headache or joint pain, but your kidneys pay a heavy price. To function, your kidneys require a massive amount of blood flow. Despite being only 1% of your body weight, they receive 20% of the blood your heart pumps. They need this oxygen to perform their intense filtration work. The blood vessels leading into the kidneys are kept open and dilated by chemical messengers called prostaglandins. Prostaglandins are also responsible for signaling pain and inflammation. Here is the trap. NSAIDs work by blocking the enzyme that makes prostaglandins. This stops your pain, yes. But in doing so, it also stops the production of the very chemical that keeps the kidney's blood supply open. When you take these drugs, you are effectively constricting the afferent arterioles, the entry doors for blood into the kidneys. You are choking off the blood supply. This causes a condition called renal ischemia. The kidney cells, starved of oxygen, begin to struggle. Occasional use might be tolerated, but chronic use acts like a slow strangulation of your kidney tissue, reducing their filtering capacity permanently over time. 4. Phosphate-laden foods. Number 4. Inorganic phosphates. Unlike natural phosphate in nuts, the inorganic kind used in processed foods and sodas is a dangerous, highly absorbable preservative. The human body has evolved to regulate nutrients tightly. When you eat natural foods, your gut only absorbs about 30% to 40% of the phosphate. The rest is excreted. This is a safety mechanism. However, the inorganic phosphate additives used by the food industry are different. They are essentially free salts. They are absorbed at a rate of 90% to 100%. This floods your bloodstream with a massive spike of phosphorus. When blood phosphate spikes, your body panics. To restore balance, the parathyroid glands strip calcium from your bones to neutralize the phosphate in the blood. Now, you have high calcium and high phosphate floating in your bloodstream. These two minerals love to bind together. But instead of binding in the bones, they bind in the soft tissues. This leads to metastatic calcification. Essentially, your insides turn into bone. This hardens blood vessels and calcifies the kidney tissue itself, a condition known as nephrocalcinosis. 5. Processed meats. At number 5, we have processed meats. Bacon, sausages, hot dogs, deli meats, and pepperoni. We often hear that protein is bad for kidneys. This is a nuance we need to clarify. High-quality protein from natural sources is usually fine for healthy kidneys. The problem with processed meat is not just the protein, it is the chemical package it comes in. These meats are preserved using nitrates and nitrites. In the high-heat environment of cooking or the acidic environment of the gut, these convert into nitrosamines, which are known carcinogens and oxidative stressors. But there is a more structural danger known as AGOs, or advanced glycation end products. These are formed when meats are processed, smoked, cured, and cooked at high temperatures. AGOs act like molecular superglue. When you ingest high levels of AGOs, they enter your bloodstream and bind to your tissues. In the kidneys, they cause cross-linking of the proteins in the glomeruli. Imagine a flexible net that becomes rigid and brittle because it has been glued together. That is what AGOs do to your kidney filters. Processed meats create an acidic environment. To neutralize this, kidneys produce ammonia. Chronic overproduction is toxic, causing tissue scarring over time. 6. Artificial sweeteners. Number 6 is artificial sweeteners. Aspartame, sucralose, and acesulfame potassium. You switch to diet soda to avoid sugar, thinking you are saving your health. But for your kidneys, you might be trading one poison for another. Let's look at aspartame. When digested, aspartame breaks down into 3 components: phenylalanine, aspartic acid, and methanol. Methanol is what alcohol. It is a poison. Your liver converts methanol into formaldehyde, yes, the fluid used to embalm bodies, and then into formic acid. While the amounts are small, they are toxic to the proximal tubules of the kidneys. Then there is sucralose. Studies suggest that sucralose can alter the function of the kidney tubules, impairing their ability to filter and reabsorb nutrients correctly. And finally, acesulfame potassium. Research has indicated that this compound can accumulate in renal tissue, causing mitochondrial dysfunction. As we mentioned, mitochondria are the power plants of the cell. If the kidney cells cannot produce energy, they cannot filter blood. Long-term studies have shown a correlation. Women who drank 2 or more servings of artificially sweetened soda per day had a 2-fold increase in kidney function decline. It is a direct chemical insult to the tissue. 7. Green smoothies and oxalates. Number 7 is shocking to many. Green smoothies, specifically those overloaded with raw spinach, almonds, and beets. These are foods we consider superfoods. And in moderation, they are. But when you blend 3 cups of raw spinach into a drink every morning, you are creating an oxalate bomb. Oxalates, also known as oxalic acid, are compounds found in plants. They are a defense mechanism for the plant. In the human body, oxalates are an anti-nutrient. They have a strong magnetic attraction to minerals, specifically calcium. When you consume a massive load of oxalates in liquid form, which absorbs quickly, they flood your bloodstream. They eventually reach the kidneys, where they meet calcium. When oxalate and calcium meet in the kidneys, they snap together to form calcium oxalate crystals. These are not smooth stones. Under a microscope, they look like sharp, jagged shards of glass or needles. If you have a healthy gut microbiome, you have a specific bacteria called Oxalobacter formigenes that eats oxalates for you. But due to antibiotic use and poor diets, many of us have lost this bacteria. Without this defense, oxalates pass into urine. They can form kidney stones or, as microshards, cause abrasion and inflammation, damaging tubules over time. 8. Alcohol. Number 8 is alcohol. We know it ruins the liver, but it destroys the kidneys through a different pathway. Alcohol affects the kidneys primarily through two mechanisms: dehydration and toxicity. First, alcohol inhibits the release of vasopressin, also known as antidiuretic hormone. This hormone tells your kidneys to hold onto water. When alcohol blocks it, the floodgates open. You urinate far more fluid than you are drinking. This leads to profound dehydration. A dehydrated kidney is stressed. Thicker blood is harder to push through filters, increasing pressure and causing hypertension within the kidney itself. Second, the breakdown of alcohol produces free radicals and induces oxidative stress directly in the renal tissue. It impairs the kidney's ability to regulate electrolytes. And, as we mentioned earlier, certain types of alcohol like beer and dark spirits are high in purines, which break down into uric acid, adding to the crystal load the kidneys must manage. 9. Coffee creamers. Number 9. Coffee creamers. This seems innocent. It makes your coffee look like it has milk in it. But there is no milk. The white color often comes from a chemical called titanium dioxide, and the texture comes from industrial emulsifiers. Titanium dioxide is often used as a whitening agent in paint and sunscreen. In the body, these nanoparticles have been shown in animal studies to induce inflammation and oxidative stress in renal tissues. They are foreign particles that the kidney struggles to clear. But the bigger issue is the emulsifiers. Emulsifiers are chemicals designed to mix oil and water. In your body, they act like detergents. They can disrupt the mucus lining of the gut, leading to leaky gut and potentially the delicate membranes of the kidney. When the gut barrier is breached, toxins and bacteria leak into the bloodstream. This forces the kidneys to filter a much higher load of toxins than they were designed for. This is called endotoxemia, and it places a massive, chronic stress load on the kidneys, accelerating their aging. 10. High-sodium foods. And finally, we arrive at number 10. High-sodium foods. We place this last not because it isn't dangerous, but because the danger is often misunderstood. We are taught to fear salt. But sodium is an essential mineral. You need it for your nerves to fire and your muscles to contract. The problem arises from the source and the balance. The danger comes from processed foods such as canned soups, TV dinners, fast food, and salty snacks. Your kidneys use a sodium-potassium pump. Processed foods overload you with sodium but lack potassium, breaking the delicate balance your cells need. Your body senses the high sodium concentration in the blood and holds onto water to dilute it. This extra fluid increases the total volume of blood in your arteries. Think of a garden hose. If you turn the water tap up, the pressure inside the hose increases. This is systemic high blood pressure. High pressure tears delicate glomerular capillaries. The body repairs them with scar tissue, which can't filter blood, leading to permanent function loss. The solution isn't just low salt. It is eating real food. Real food, like meat and vegetables, naturally contains sodium and potassium in the ratios your kidneys evolved to handle. Conclusion. As we close, I want you to shift your perspective. Your kidneys are not just a plumbing system. They are the master chemists of your body. They are resilient, but they are not invincible. Innocent-looking foods trigger deep damage. From fructose depleting energy to phosphates causing calcification, these are specific biological insults that erode your resilience. The good news is that your body has an incredible capacity for repair if you stop the chemical assault. By eliminating these 10 offenders and replacing them with whole, unprocessed foods, proper hydration, and natural electrolytes, you give your kidneys the truce they desperately need to heal. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. Kidney disease is silent, but your knowledge doesn't have to be. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our future tips on how to master your health. Stay proactive, stay informed, and as always, stay healthy. See you in the next video.